This is a game. This is also a game, and this one is yet another game. And what all these games have in common is that in order to play them, you just need a paper, a pencil, and a friend. But what if you don't have paper or pencil, or your friend lives far away? How hard would it be to build this type of game so you can play with your friend over the internet? So in this video, we're going to talk about 4 levels of complexity at which you can implement any of those board games. For the level 1, we would need to build an initial implementation of the board game. Now, you can of course build a mobile application or desktop application, but I assume you want to build a web application. So you have plenty of choices. You can build it with vanilla JavaScript. Maybe you want to build it with React. It could be Angular, it could be Svelte, it could be even Qwik. It doesn't really matter at this level. You need to pick whatever the framework you want to play around with, which one gives you the most amount of fun. If you're already familiar with React, you can try something different like Svelte or Qwik or something else. Maybe you don't feel that your skills are strong enough with just vanilla JavaScript, so you can use vanilla JavaScript. There are plenty of options, but the goal at this level is to build the initial implementation of the game so that you can play it with your friend sitting in front of the same computer. So at this level, you just want to build a game client, handle the core logic of the game. And at the end of the level 1, I would recommend you to host it on something like Netlify or Vercel so that you can play in front of any computer. And on level 2, what we want to achieve is to be able to play with our friend if they are far away using the power of the internet. At this level, we don't want to and don't have to introduce the backend just yet, since we can utilize the power of the real-time database like Firebase or maybe Supabase. Firebase is actually a set of products and consists of 2 real-time databases, Firebase Firestore and Firebase Real-Time Database. So you can pick any of these 2, or maybe you want to try with the Supabase. Supabase provides you with a PostgreSQL database, but it also comes with a client that allows you to subscribe to the changes that are happening for this real-time effect. Also, at this level, we want to increase the complexity of implementation a little bit, just because since we're going to store the progress of our games in the database, we want to introduce authentication at this level. And thankfully, both Firebase and Supabase come equipped with authentication solutions. So at this level, you probably want to build your game client a little bit more complex, since I would recommend you to introduce the concept of rooms so that multiple players can play at the same time. Firebase provides even with so-called like anonymous authentication, so that users don't have to necessarily log in, but they still will be considered users and then later can be attached to authentication data because of the real-time nature of those databases and powerful clients they expose. You don't have to build a backend just yet, because your front-end application will handle all the visual parts of your game implementation, and you will use the real-time nature of those databases to just handle the state remotely with ability to synchronize between 2 parties. We can increase the complexity of our game client implementation even further and move on to level 3. And the goal of level 3 is to introduce a serverless backend. There are multiple options that can provide you with the serverless backend solutions. You can use either serverless functions or edge functions, depending which provider you will pick. Netlify, Vercel, and Firebase, they all provide you with the possibility to create edge functions. With the Firebase functions, you can use Node.js and Python. With Netlify, as far as I know, you can unfortunately use only Node.js. But with Vercel, if instead of using edge functions, you will use serverless functions, you have the possibility to pick between Node.js, Python, Go, and even Rust. The problem with serverless function is that they live only for a certain period of time, like let's say 15 minutes. So implementing persistent connection through WebSockets to them could be hard. I would recommend at level 3 since you want to move to the serverless functions, to sacrifice the real-timeness of the previous solution from level 2, when you can use just the clients with the WebSocket solutions, and use a poll-based solution. But what we want to achieve at level 3 is to convert all the API of your game client that was previously available, sort of like only client side, and you want to implement that API through serverless functions. At this level, you can continue to use the Firebase or Supabase as a database, but you also have possibility to, for example, instead of Firebase, to try MongoDB, because they have a free solution. Or you can try, for example, MySQL, since products like PlanetScale provide you with access to MySQL database for free up to a certain limit. So the goal here is that your front-end application should not communicate with database directly like it happened before on level 2, but it should only communicate through serverless functions that you host on Vercel or Netlify. Again, you have possibilities to create just one single serverless function. Let's say if you go with something like Node.js, your serverless function could always be a full Express application or any other server framework like Koa or Happy or Nest.js. But basically the ultimate goal of the level 3 is to have a 3-layered sort of like architecture where there is a game client written on level 1 that is hosted on Netlify or Vercel. Then you have serverless functions for the backend, and then some kind of database, whether the one you implemented on level 2 or the one you changed to at level 3. The main factor here is that your application should communicate with the database only through that backend API. And finally, you are ready to move to level 4. And at level 4, you want to build something that resembles what people build in real world. So you have actually two options. Option A assumes that you're still not gonna spend a single penny on your implementation and experimentation. For the level 4 option A, what you want to do is to move everything you have built on level 3 and move it to a place like AWS. You would have to deal with increased complexity when you need to log into AWS console and figure out what you need to configure in order to make it work. If you want this extra challenge for level 4, what you can do is that there is certain amount of configurations you would need to do manually on AWS. But what I want you to do is to deploy your actual serverless functions using solutions like CDK or serverless or maybe Terraform. But I personally would recommend to use CDK. For the level 4 option B, we have a completely different story. What I would try to do is buy a tiniest droplet on DigitalOcean. These days, I think it could be as much as just $4 per month, I think. So for this path, what you would need to do is to figure out how to change the root user that comes with your droplet and change it with the user with the privileges, how to SSH into your machine, how to deploy application there, how to set up reverse proxy, maybe like Nginx. You would need to set up a firewall. What is extremely nice about DigitalOcean is that the interface is a lot easier to use than the one from AWS. And also they have like tons of absolutely amazing articles and tutorials of how to set up different things. For this path, since you are not using serverless functions, you can also consider to bring back the WebSocket solution from level 2. So this is roughly how hard it is to build a pen and paper game using modern technologies so that you can play with your distant friends. I'm planning to build one to play with my friend and kind of try my own dog's food. And one last thing is that anywhere at this level, it's up to you whether you want to keep the client simple or you want to implement any other extra features that may provide you with other set of challenges. Maybe you want to build a chat so that you can communicate with the friends. Maybe you want to incorporate different mods in the game so that There could be those who plays the game and those who just observes the game. And I think all these 4 levels provide a challenge disregarding where you are in your development journey. If you are just a beginner, stick to level 1, of course. If you are a bit further in your career, you can try and build your skills and follow other levels. But overall, I assure you, if you build a game client that is nice looking, and it also has an API hosted on, for example, AWS that you have deployed using something like CDK, this result will really shine in your resume. So thank you very much for watching this video and sticking here with me, and see you in the next one.